is Wednesday, December the 29th, 2020. What? Of course, 2021. The final days of the year. I am James, you are you, and of course, we are here for another breathtaking episode of the show that won't go away. It is, of course, At Home with James, live on Twitch. Are you sitting at home right now? Perhaps you're on a bus, on a train, on the metro, watching in however way that you choose to watch this show. Tablet, perhaps Google Chroming it. Maybe you're on a mobile device. Maybe you're projecting it onto a big screen. However you happen to be watching tonight, from me to you, I say thank you for joining me from the comfort of your home or wherever it may be. There's only a couple days left in the year. This time next week, when we come to you live on a Wednesday, this show will have spanned the course of 3 separate years, from 2020 to 2021, all the way into the upcoming 2022. Now, you think when I say this show won't go away, it's just hyperbolic, vamping and ramping? No. It's the truth. This is all I've got. This is all I've got. Prior to getting on the air, I was bragging about how a nurse at a COVID test center graced me with the compliment of the best gargling that she had seen all day. That's where I'm at in life, where I am bragging to my friends and contemporaries that a nurse spoke so highly of the fact that I gargled water and spat it into a cup, presenting her with the finest, most mucousy sample that she had seen in the span of her work day. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. I am in downtown there, and I have checked in to the suite at the top of the pathetic hotel. And I'm the only one enjoying that room because I, like so many others, are enjoying a life of isolation. So if you happen to be one of those people right now, allow me to be your company. Allow me to be your best friend. Allow me to be a shoulder to cry on. Allow me to be everything that a lover could be without the physicality. What's on the show tonight and who is on the show tonight? Much later on, he was under the weather last week as part of the Rockin' Talkin' New Year's Eve. Andy Assaf is back live and in living color. Who else is back on the show? Conor Rose, the one and only. But we're going to get things started in just a matter of moments with someone who went through what I would deem to be a tragedy moments before coming on air. Now, prior to this episode hitting the airwaves on Twitch, me and this person, we went through no planning as to what we were going to talk about. His tragedy leads us into what I think will be a very serviceable conversation. Because as a wise person once said, there's no use in wasting a good crisis. So let's talk about that crisis with someone whose jersey was retired during his last appearance on this show. It is the chief political correspondent of At Home with James, otherwise known as Dave's best friend. It is Syd Roc. Syd, welcome back to the program.
Hello, James. I'm glad to be here. This tragedy is very fresh in my mind, so forgive me if I'm not particularly enthused by talking about it, but I'm totally fine talking about it. So that's I just want to make that part clear.
Now we're building this up because I'm sure people are watching right now being like, holy smokes, something really bad must have happened to Syd, but it can't be that bad if James is talking about it and Syd is on the show. You came onto our production call and said, I am, quote, irate.
Yes.
But again, I think the best way to talk through moments of tragedy is to do just that, talking through moments of tragedy. So Syd, why don't you take us through what happened and be as detailed as possible?
Sure. So I've been trying to lose weight for a while, and I've been kind of plateauing. And the thing with these times is that I've been eating the same thing over and over and over again. And every now and then I want to spice it up and I want to order out, right? So a meal that I can eat that corresponds to the parameters of the diet that I'm trying to live by is a shawarma plate from Basha.
Mm-hmm.
So or any Lebanese restaurant really. So I order it, and then I finish my workout. And then when the meal gets here, I don't even put it down. Well, I put it down, but I don't eat it right away. So I do some video editing for a project I'm working on. And then when I decide that it's time to eat, I go and I unpack it and start eating while watching some YouTube. And then
this is where the tragedy is about to strike.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So as I am enjoying my meal,
and let's walk through the meal here a little bit for the people who don't know what a shawarma plate is. Can you take us through what's in it?
Well, I always have it with chicken, so it's technically a shish taouk plate, but it's like the chicken that you slice off of that rotating thing. And I just have meat and salad, no pasta, no potatoes and no rice. Okay, so I'm doing low carb basically. I'm trying to anyway. And I didn't feel like cheating today. So I go into my meal. I like to like mix it up and everything. I order like the extra garlic sauce and shit like that. And so I'm watching YouTube while enjoying my meal. And the shawarma plate, they come with those green hot peppers.
And they're very big, right? It's a voluminous pepper.
I don't know what you mean by voluminous.
Okay, well, fair enough, right? We're not talking about a full-size bell pepper here, but it's a big mini pepper, right? You take a bite, you're gonna feel the heat.
It's enjoyable. It's one of my favorite parts. I don't enjoy it enough to like insist on them including it, but when I get a shawarma plate and it's not in there, I do feel a little disappointed.
Sure.
Well, that might have been for the best tonight, because what I like to do is I bite into it, and since it's my meal, I take a bite. I'm too lazy to chop it up myself, so what I do is I take bites and I spit the bite back into my meal so that I can enjoy it, like mixing it up with my meal.
Wow, that is lazy.
Yeah, that is lazy. And so I take a bite, and this was a particularly juicy bite, and I noticed that the juice that's inside the pepper starts pouring to the side.
Pouring?
There's a lot of it. Like
it's a pepper full of juice.
I wasn't expecting this much juice to come out of this pepper, and I noticed it like spilling off to the side, and I pay it no mind. I finished biting the pepper, and then when I want,
this is where tragedy strikes.
Yeah, when I reach up to pause the YouTube video that I was watching, I noticed that there's all the juice spilled on the remote control. So I say, oh shit, I hope I didn't screw it up. I grab one of my microfiber towels and I kind of wipe it dry, right? And then I actually finished the video, paid it no mind. And then I noticed that the down function wasn't working. And then I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't fuck up my remote. And then I try the old turn it off and on again. And I noticed the power button isn't working either. And
things are going haywire at this point.
They're going haywire. And I fucking search around the TV for those buttons, because any TV will have buttons that you can at least do basic shit without a remote. And it's so complicated that I end up having to YouTube it, to Google it and watch a YouTube video, because the thing is,
the website you were originally watching to begin with.
Yes, but now on this computer, and it turns out that because there are only 3 buttons there, and to turn the TV off, you have to press and hold the middle button until it turns off. So I do that, and then I turn my TV back on, and it's not working. So it is, I fucked up my remote control by biting into a hot pepper. And while we were waiting, I ordered a replacement remote on Amazon.
Now, did you use Amazon or Amazon Prime?
I don't have Amazon Prime. I've been considering it. I might be a sucker for not having it because I order there often enough. But the bottom line is, after I mentioned that I had ordered one on Amazon, Andy said, "Hey, isn't there an app that does that?" and I'm like, "Oh, I actually downloaded one on my phone while we were waiting." Now, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I haven't used it. I'm sure it works with my TV, but I might not cancel my order because to get the free shipping, I added a bunch of other stuff from my wish list to get like the minimum for free shipping.
And look, and you want a remote with a TV. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these Andy Assafs or these Dimitri Kierezes or the Dave Kaufmans of the world who they want to do everything on their phone. You said guys like you and me, we're old fashioned, right?
We are.
We like remote controls and we like shawarma plates. Now, I'm curious to know, at any point, did you consider maybe taking legal action against Basha?
Man, I can't in good conscience because it's my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not one of these the coffee was too hot guys.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, the lady who sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot and it spilled all over her.
You know, I I hate to be that guy, but apparently if you because that case is often cited as an example of like frivolous cases that are brought against for stupid reasons. But apparently if you look at the actual details of the case, her claim was a lot more reasonable than it would seem if you just say she sued McDonald's because she spilled her coffee on herself.
Yeah, that's me. That's me just giving the clickbait.
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
That's me clickbaiting.
In short, the coffee was way hotter than one would reasonably expect, and the lid wasn't as secure as one would reasonably expect either.
Which happened to me at Tim Hortons a couple weeks ago. The exact same thing. I had a faulty cup and a faulty lid. Now, this is making me wonder, because again, we're going to talk about everything that goes into New Year's a little bit tonight. I'm wondering for a future episode if we perhaps re-explored that case. Because this is it. This has got to be a 30-year-old case at this point, right?
Probably. I mean, in my mind, I was citing the Seinfeld episode, but for sure the Seinfeld episode was referring to that case for sure.
Yeah. Now, could you imagine in the new year? Because I'm all about shaking things up. If we revisit old legal cases from a bygone era, no one, again, if it wasn't for this mishap, this hot pepper mishap, we're not talking about this case right now. It's part of the past. Could you imagine a dream team trio of you, me, and Mr. David Kaufman breaking down that case from a bygone era?
I love the idea. And the funny thing is, like, I know I don't know the specific episode, but I know which podcast I was listening to, which went over the details of that case. And today I have an advantage that I didn't have back then, which is that I can listen to it at double speed, probably faster. So I can at least get the broad strokes of it fairly quickly. And actually, I'm sure it's public record, so I'm sure the actual case is the details of it are easily retrievable. I'm actually intrigued.
Now, there's people watching right now that are either tickled and excited that we're going to revisit this the coffee was too hot at McDonald's case, or they're thinking, wow, this James guy has really run out of ideas and he's jumped the shark. This guy's running out of ideas that he's got to go through old, mildly interesting legal battles from many, many, many years ago.
I've been a legalese geek for a long time, so I actually do find this stuff interesting. Like, I've had this Black's Law dictionary.
How big is this book?
It's really big.
Yeah,
it's a dictionary.
As you picked it up, you groaned. You groaned. You went, ah!
So yeah, I actually do find this stuff interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking up right now, but I know somewhere here I have the Code civil du Québec. It's not where I would expect it to be, but I know it's here somewhere. Anyway, it's right here. I moved it down here, but yeah, I enjoy this stuff.
Well, look, this just means this is a episode made in heaven. And again, if it wasn't for you taking that big bite of that juicy pepper, we don't go down this pathway, Syd. I like to think, now I'm not a man of religion. I'm no Charlie Church, but I think this might be fate.
Maybe actually, because another reason why I've been eating the same thing over and over again is because I'm trying to save money, and I got to be honest, I could have done without the roughly $50 I spent, not just for the remote, but for other stuff on my wish list that I wanted anyway to get the free shipping, and I might have went overboard.
Look,
but
you know what? I think that it's totally fine to enjoy the money that we make right now. $50. Look, you know what? $50 comes and goes. Syd,
yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you the question: if you spend that $50, you're going to be out on the street tomorrow?
No.
Then it's a-okay. And I would say, even if you want to even go further, you can buy me a gift if you want to.
No.
Well, look, I want to get into some New Year's stuff here, Syd. Now, you mentioned you're working out, you're trying to lose weight. Is this part of a long-term goal? Is this a New Year's goal? Do you have any New Year's resolutions coming into this year?
I don't really have New Year's resolutions, but I have a bunch of goals for the new year. And the lose weight thing is really I gained a lot of weight during COVID, and during the summer I went to a friend's house, and for reasons that he took a picture of me while I was sitting at a table. And when I saw that picture, that was like a wake up moment. I'm like, oh man,
some pictures can rock our worlds.
I don't like this picture. Yeah. So that's when I decided, you know what, it's probably time to lose my COVID weight. COVID weight.
Now, I'm curious to know, Syd. And we did this earlier this year with a couple other guests. I'm curious to know if you'd like to assign me a New Year's resolution, and then maybe I assign you a New Year's resolution for this year.
The thought of someone else assigning a New Year's resolution with me is so revolting that I'm not doing that.
Now, Syd, this is oftentimes a common theme where you come on the show and I challenge you to do something. And you're like, I'm not carving a pumpkin.
No.
I'm not going to wear a costume. I'm not going to appear on any of the Christmas episodes. Now, is this one of these situations? Maybe, but hear me out, because I think I have one. And it might even be an old ghost from the past.
Yeah, I think I see you coming. You can proceed. I mean, it's your show too. Who am I to stop you?
Now, Syd, what do you think the New Year's resolution that I'm going to sign you as?
James, you've been trying to talk me into growing a beard since the beginning. You think I haven't forgotten that?
Now, here's the thing. That is exactly the resolution that I was going to assign to you, is would you grow a beard for the show? Now, I'm a man who's able to pivot, right? I can pivot. I'm totally capable of pivoting. So I have a new one. What if we bargain, we compromise, we bargain it down to just a mustache?
You took an idea that I hated and made it worse.
Okay.
Joe Canto, I appreciate you saying I'd look great with a beard. And Naive Adventures, I have no idea what Rakuten is, but I'll check it out. Sorry.
Yeah, and no, look, and again, maybe this is your New Year's resolution for me, Syd, is to engage with the chat more. And I have to do that right now. We've got Brazen Raisin 1 with a first-time chat from a viewer. We've also got a second first-time chat from a viewer from Alana V. So I think the people that are watching right now would really love if you grew a mustache immediately.
Well, they are free to have their preferences. That's all I'll say.
Now, what would be a New Year's resolution? Now, I'm open here. What if you assigned me a New Year's resolution? Because way back when, you were very critical of my engagement with the chat. And I do.
Yes.
I will say that I think it has gotten substantially better. I went from not looking at it to then looking at it to then quoting the chat.
Wow. A New Year's resolution for James.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot. I don't have much right now. Now,
Maybe something like I host a show wearing a cape.
That's not even a resolution. That's like a thing you might do.
maybe I host a show with like
how's about I wear a red shirt?
That's it. I would happily accept that resolution. Maybe I wear a cowboy hat on the show.
If we're doing that, how's about your New Year's resolution would be to do an entire show with an eye patch, talking with a pirate accent. There we go.
I would take you up on that.
That's a great New Year's resolution.
I resolved to host a show wearing an eye patch and speaking in a pirate voice, but you got to come on the show with a mustache and a cowboy hat.
No deal.
No deal. Syd, you drive a hard bargain. But that's what makes you, I think, one of the all-time guests on this show.
Well, I appreciate it. I can be very stubborn.
Well, and before we start to wrap things up, I want to point out, now you're the host of your own show. It's every Tuesday at 10 on YouTube. It's called the Syd Stream. I was watching last night. I was active in the chat.
Yes.
And you know what? You called me right out. You called me right out live on YouTube, saying that my programming and schedule was all over the place and inconsistent. How do you would you like to explain yourself?
Well, I don't think there's much to explain. I mean, the one of the keys to success is one of the keys to success to live streaming is streaming consistently, where like on these days of the week at this time, the person I want to watch is streaming. And you know, when I 1,000,000% understand why you were taking advantage of all these opportunities to perform on stage while you could. And I absolutely get it. However, the consequence of that is I started doing other shit on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I mean, at home when James isn't on, I'm not gonna just sit idle for an hour.
No, I take umbrage with this. I'm going to take umbrage with this. Is that the Monday shows were never affected? I would say there was one Wednesday a month that got affected, and I will concede most Fridays were affected. You called. I'm gonna add some salt. You called my ass right out live on YouTube.
Yeah, well, in fairness, it was an afterthought at the very end of the show, but it did happen. I can't deny it.
I'll tell you what, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, because one of my New Year's resolutions is to sort of stream war with someone.
I don't know what a stream war entails, but I don't even know what to say, because usually, like, you know, we're on Twitch. I watched a lot of political streamers on Twitch, and a bunch of Twitch drama. I'm fucking addicted to Twitch drama, but that usually takes place between people who don't like each other, or said that they think they said or did something particularly stupid and harmful. And I can't see either of those things happening between us anytime soon. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, it would be kind of like a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
But I will say this, coming in from the chat, this is from Naive Adventures, quote, Syd, James decided to leave At Home with James to do improv sex scenes. Now, I'm not going to concede that either. I think that I'm doing as much improv sex scenes as I did in a pre-COVID world.
I'll have to take your word for it, but
maybe that's one of my resolutions this year, is that at some point in 2022, you and me, we're on stage and we do a really salacious scene with each other.
I'm open to the idea, but here's the thing: there are too many factors beyond our control, and I have no. 2022, the fog of war is still too thick for that.
It's true.
That was one of the main reasons why I wasn't. That was one of the main reasons why I wasn't enthused to get back on stage. Like, I do miss it, but I'm like, no, whatever is given can be taken away. And lo and behold, it got taken away. So I just focused on shit that I can do independent of whatever the fuck our premier decides that we're allowed to do or not allowed to do.
But then here's the thing, Syd. Can a couple gentlemen like you and us dream of what could be on stage in front of a moderately attended show? And
I would love to see that happen, James. The part that I'm skeptical of is specifically 2022.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see that happen.
Well, then how about this? I've had, as we begin to wrap up, I've had a number of people bring this up to me, more than I would have ever anticipated, whether they're viewers or contributors to the show, such as yourself. They talk about, what about an At Home with James show live and in living color? So what if we were to say that in a new world where there is no fog, in a hypothetical, totally fine and safe world, maybe, I don't know, there's an improv show featuring all of the people that appear on this show. You and me are live on stage together. Because the last time we were on stage together, I think I fictitiously beat you up in a fake boxing match.
Oh yeah,
we were also in a cucking scene.
Yeah. We sure were. That was a great show. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Can a couple gentlemen like us dream of what could be?
We can dream of what could be, and I would look forward to an At Home with James live show in person where you completely ignore the audience. That is there.
So not only, Syd, are you calling? Oh my God. I'm choking on my own disbelief here. Not only are you calling me out on your show, you're calling me out on my show. But this is just the type of guy I am, that I like to dream of what could be on stage. And part of me thinks that maybe, just maybe one day, you'll be live on the show with a mustache and I'll be on here with a pirate patch.
But
can a couple gentlemen like us dream?
You can dream. I ain't growing no mustache.
Well, that feels like a good place to end it. Syd, would you like to tell people where they can find you on Tuesdays at 10 p.m.?
Sure. My show is on YouTube. If you just Google Syd Roc, you will find it. I stream every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. And if you're into tarot, I started a tarot channel. If you search for Syd Roc Rational Tarot on YouTube, you will find it. I do readings twice a week and once a month.
Syd, you're going to have people banging on your door for you to help them understand what their future is to be in 2022.
Great. I've already started.
I love it. Syd, thanks so much for being here. So good to have you back, my friend.
Hey, glad to be back. Bye, chat. I'll see you in the chat.
Bye, chat. I'll see you in the chat. Famous last words from Syd Roc. As mentioned, you can see him every Tuesday, 10 p.m. on YouTube on the Syd stream. He's over there on YouTube. He's saying this At Home with James guy, he's not consistent. He's over there on stage, taking off his pants, doing God knows what to someone that he's on stage with. I bring the guy on my show, and all I do is ask him to grow a mustache, right? Syd, I'm calling you out. I want to see what type of guy you are. Can you even, maybe you can't grow a mustache, right? You call me out on your show, I'm going to call you out on my show. I want to see you grow that much. If Syd grows a mustache, I'll shave my beard into a mustache. You want to see me go from little cutie to little pervert just like that? Power is in Syd's hands. Let's move on to our next guest. Saw him a couple weeks ago, right before the holiday season. We're seeing him now after the holiday season. It's the one, it's the only, Mr. Conor Rose. Conor, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, James.
I got to say, you look spiffy. You look clean. You look freshly shaved. New hat, new shirt, new you. Tell us about it, Conor.
Yeah, James, this is a Christmas gift from my dad.
Awesome. Carl.
Yeah.
How was your holiday season? How was Christmas Day with your family?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, none of them wanted to see me because of COVID, so...
Wait, hold on. Were they worried specifically because of you, or just because, there's an increase in cases and things like that?
Yeah, no, they all got together, but because I've had COVID so many times, they just assumed that I have it again. So they told me that I had to stay at home.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. If it makes you feel any better, I also spent Christmas Day completely by myself.
Oh, it's James. Once again, just you and me, just having stuff in common.
You know who we're a lot like? We're like that movie Twins. You're Arnold and I'm Danny DeVito.
Or
you
Junior.
Know that, you know that movie?
I know Junior.
Oh, the one where Arnold's character gets pregnant.
Yeah, we're like that.
Yeah, it's like you're the father and I'm the fetus.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Conor, it seems like your spirits are high though, despite maybe not having the greatest of Christmases. What's been going on since we last spoke?
Yeah, James, I was feeling pretty down about myself last time we spoke, I think. And the holidays were
You
hard,
hold
but
on. You think you were feeling down about yourself?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. The holidays can be a tough time for people.
yep. And just a couple days ago, I was feeling pretty low, and but I'm kind of been in a reflective mood. I've been like thinking back on 2021,
Yeah.
and I actually went over my New Year's resolutions from January.
Awesome. And I suspect a lot of people right now are going through what they had set up last December going into January of this year. So what did you find out as you were going through the old resolutions?
Well, I'd like to go through them with you. I played a little game with myself called Fail or Fulfill.
Oh, I think that's great. So we're going to see your version of fail or fulfill from your 2021 resolutions. I love that idea.
Thanks.
I got a good feeling about you, Conor.
Good feeling about what?
I got a good feeling about you, Conor.
About me?
Yeah.
James, all my feelings are good about you.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right. Okay, so my New Year's resolutions last year were to get my license.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Get your license. Did you fail or fulfill?
Fail. I failed that one.
Would you like to let people know why maybe you failed?
Well, so it's kind of a long story, but I was dating my driving instructor, Miss McConnell.
Yep.
And I also was dating her daughter, so she got really angry with me.
And just so people know, her daughter was of age.
Sorry?
Her daughter was of age.
Yes, she was not a child.
All right. Well, that made it difficult, right? Once the breakups happen, it must have made it tough to.
Are you all right, James?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw when I was talking to Syd, I had a little tickle in my throat.
James, watch out. There's something going around, eh?
Something, yeah, COVID is going around, but I've been tested twice. I mentioned at the top of the show, the nurse said I had the greatest gargle of the day.
James.
Honor. It wasn't romantic.
I don't know, James. I think you should probably follow up with that nurse.
Well, there was quite an age discrepancy, and I think it would be inappropriate, considering I was there for medical reasons and she was there just doing her job.
Yeah, but saying it's the best gargle, I don't know. Seems pretty on the nose to me.
All right. Well, let's get back to you, right? This is, even though the show's called At Home with James, I really like to make it about the guest. So you weren't able to fulfill your resolution of getting your driver's license, but you can do that in 2022, right?
Yeah, so that's going to go on my new list for the new year, which
Great.
I plan to write my new list after New Year's.
How long after?
Like just a couple, like a day.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, just because I'm still like, processing everything that's happened.
Sure. Well, let's go on to what your other resolution was, to think about if you failed or fulfilled.
Yeah, so the next one was spend more time with friends. For example, Taylor. So I feel like I think, see, Taylor and I had a connection.
You're talking about Taylor McMillan, who appears on the show sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about. You appeared on the show with her in I think January of this year, so quite a while ago.
No, James, you're forgetting that we carved a pumpkin together.
That's true, right? So very early on in the year, and then you were part of the pumpkin carving contest. The Taylor won, yeah. So one of your resolutions was to
that Taylor and I both won. So yeah, so one of my resolutions was that to hang out with her more, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could bond over winning together. And I also spent time with you, James.
You came over, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
coming in from the chat, Joe Conto, who is also part of the competition, he wrote, I also won, in reference to the pumpkin carving competition.
Oh, James, poor Joe, eh?
What do you mean?
Poor guy. It's not easy losing.
Twice.
We're sorry, Joe.
Now, so do you feel like you failed or fulfilled in hanging out with people more?
Fulfilled.
Awesome. Yeah, you came over and that was fun.
Yeah, I came over. We like really bonded, hung
Yeah.
out with Taylor a bunch. Like I met like Jess. Like there's just been like a lot of
Yeah.
friends that I've met.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome. So you've got one fail, one fulfill. That's great.
Yeah. So the third one, sign up for online dating. And then I wrote in brackets, maybe we can do it together. So I feel like this is a combined.
I remember you bringing this up, right? You talked about how you and I would create online dating profiles. Now, I absolutely didn't do it. I've never been on any type of dating app. Did you fulfill it at all?
No, I put that one as a fail, but I'd like to like say that instead I got married, I lost my virginity, I possibly fathered a child, and I got divorced. So, you know, I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of cancels it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You were able to do things in the traditional way out in the wild, meeting someone without any, need for technology or use for such. Yeah, it was great for you, Conor.
Yeah, what happened in your love life this year, James?
Nothing.
Oh,
Let's move on to your next resolution to find out if we either failed or fulfilled.
sounds good. So the next one was meet more women IRL. So I feel like I fulfilled that. I mean, Claudette is like a new woman in my life.
Now, would you like to remind people who Claudette is?
She's this girl I've been seeing. We were seeing each other every day for a long time, but it's over the holiday.
And for context, how were you seeing each other every day?
She brings me my mail.
Right. So she's the mail carrier.
Yeah, but it's
just context. This is part of an interview, right? We're just providing context.
Yeah. So she's been on vacation, so we haven't been seeing each other as much, but I've been meeting her, and I also I met Jess, and
Are you talking about Jess Fildes, who appears on this show sometimes?
yeah.
And
I met Raquel. I met
Alex Brown, Sahar, yeah.
Brown. Yeah, so I feel like I've been
Conor, let me ask you a question. It feels like you got the eyes of the tiger right now. I feel like, the winter months are here. There's going to be far more to come. I feel like, Conor, you're getting pretty thirsty on me right now. Right?
Yeah.
Looking at chug? What are you drinking over there?
It's juice.
Drinking your juice out of a big jar?
Yeah, where do you drink your juice out of, James?
Cups or glasses?
Anyways, should we keep going?
Well, we've got something coming in from the chat right now. This comes from Naive Adventures. They say that in 2022, my resolution should be that I create a dating profile.
Yeah. Thanks, Naive Adventures, so much for contributing to the chat. James, that's what we had said we would do together in 2021.
Well, no. In fairness, you said that you think that both of us should do it. That was more your resolution. This feels like this is their resolution.
Yeah, but I think a lot. Yeah.
I've got my resolution now. I'm going to wear an eye patch and do the show as a pirate one night.
But that was from Syd. I I can still impose one on you too, right?
Okay, so this is fair. I'll take a New Year's resolution from everyone. Are you saying that I should create a dating profile app in 2022?
No, because that's what I said for last year, and we all saw how that
Okay.
went. So I'm gonna move on and say that I would like to see you ask a lady out.
All right. I think that's a more reasonable request.
And tell us all about it on the show.
All right. So you want me to kiss and tell?
It's the best kind of kissing.
Yeah. Well, we won't get into that right now because there's no smooching around these parts. Do you have any other resolutions that you either fail or fulfilled?
Yep. So number 5 is hang out with Dimitri. So that was fulfilled. We had a boys' night last week, and I also worked for him briefly at Marathon.
Yep.
So that's fulfilled. Then my next one was get 100 followers on Instagram. So I'm at 84, James.
Okay, now this is awesome. I bet we could get you to at least 90 tonight.
See, I'm gonna reach for the stars here and say that like 16 in 2 days, like easy peasy, you know?
Sure, 16 in 2 days. Let's see if we can get some follows right now. So if you're out there on Instagram, Conor, where can people find you?
My handle is at coming up Conor Rose.
And that's with one N.
That's with one N.
Now, if people go to the at home Instagram, I have reshared a story that you posted earlier. Let's get Conor to at least 90 by tonight. Now, there's a lot of people who are watching right now. There's a very healthy audience. Some usernames I'm not familiar with, right? We've got Go With Him. We've got Shy Puff. There's Painfullest. And then someone whose username, this has been here before. I don't know who this person is. I've said their username by name on this show. It's my favorite username of any viewer, Feet. Right?
That's clever.
So thanks so much for watching. Go follow Conor Rose.
Thanks.
So you're looking to fulfill this one in 2022.
To get to 100?
Get to 100.
Yeah, I mean, if I get to 100 in the next couple of days, I could put it to 200 for the next year.
That's awesome. I think that's a great resolution. So you're looking to fulfill this goal with still a few days to go.
Yeah. So my last one was write more poems.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say I fulfilled that. James, I've written 14 poems this year.
Yeah. And they were awesome.
Thanks. How many poems has Andy written?
I think that Andy wrote 3 poems and 2 of them were the variation of the same one.
Okay, so he's got some catching up to do then, right?
It seems like, Conor, you've got a bit of an issue with Andy writing poems because
it's just that it was my thing, James.
Now we're getting a production note that Andy did 5 poems.
Yeah.
You're upset that it was your bit and that Andy took your bit.
Stole my identity. It's identity theft.
No, come on. He didn't take your identity.
Yeah, you called me the poet laureate, and then you called him the poet laureate.
Well, in some ways, maybe you took Andy's identity because we know that Andy loves spending intimate time with women.
Oh, you got me there, James.
Well, maybe one day you two can collaborate on some poem.
Hey, that's a way better way of looking at it, James.
Yeah, right? Because I think you guys go way back, right? We don't want to see our friends on the show fighting.
That's true.
Why don't you say something to Andy right now? Why don't you look into the camera and just send a message? Just speak your truth.
Andy?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Andy, if you're out there, I just want you to know there's no bad blood between us, okay? I think there's enough poetry in this world for the both of us, and that if we put our heads together, we can make something really beautiful.
That was almost a poem within itself.
Yeah. Speaking of poems, I have one written for tonight.
You do have a poem tonight. That's awesome. I was hoping that there would be one, but then I felt a little let down that maybe there wouldn't be. Now my spirits are just as high as the sky, Conor. What's this poem called?
It's called 2021. So what?
All right, so you're going to be reading it live on the air. So, folks, if you're watching right now, this is Conor Rose with his brand new poem, 2021. So what? Take it away, Conor.
2021. You've been pretty fun. Didn't get my license, and that's a bit of a drag. But then I got married. Sorry to brag. Had good times with friends. James, I'm looking at you. Hung out with Dimitri and Dave Kaufman too. So what if I got divorced and caught COVID twice? So what if I lived on my balcony most nights? I lived life to the fullest. Can't buy that with dollars. Need I remind you? 84 followers. So though I'm alone and isolated once more, I've got a year worth of memories to keep my heart warm. Bye-bye, 21. I'll miss you a ton.
Conor, 2 thumbs up. That was absolutely awesome. I think you outdid the poem that you did going into 2021.
You think so, James?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that one you talk about how we both got dumped.
Yeah, I have it here if you want me to read it. It's okay, though.
Yeah, Conor, what's that poem called?
It's called New Year's Day, a short poem.
I think if we're talking about it, it's probably worth hearing. So let's hear last year's poem going into 2021. It's New Year's Day, a short poem by Conor Rose. Conor, take it away.
All right. Happy New Year's, James. Today is the first day of a new opportunity, new reasons to play with each other. This last year has been tough. I'm sure you agree. We both got dumped, twice for me. But 2021 is going to be fun. We're going to hang with Dave in the man cave. No need to behave. But we've got each other because, James, you're like my brother.
Wow, it hits just like it did in 2020 going into 2021. And look, there's almost resolutions that we fulfilled right there, right? We had so much fun. We didn't really behave, right? We had that guys' night last week, hung out in the man cave. I think that, 2022 is going to be as kind to us as 2021 was.
Yeah, James, I was thinking maybe you could give me a prediction, like, for me. Instead of a resolution, I want to know, like...
A prediction for you?
Yeah, or like hope for me, or like, I don't know.
Conor, I'm gonna throw something out there. It might be a little adult. Conor, I think in 2022, you have a threesome. Oh, Conor, is everything okay over there?
Yeah.
Not again.
Yeah.
Well, Conor, maybe we should say goodnight here, okay?
Just give me a minute.
Yep. Well, while Conor Rose is composing himself, just a reminder that even though this upcoming Friday is New Year's Eve, we will be live on the air. That Syd guy, he says, it's inconsistent. So what did I do? 2 weeks of back-to-back episodes on nights that any other person would take off. 9 p.m. right here, New Year's Eve. Conor, you okay over there, buddy?
Yeah, all good. That was a great resolution. I'm gonna try not to think about it too hard, but I'm gonna keep it.
Remember, it's just a prediction.
Yeah.
Conor, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for such a great year. Another year in the trenches. Thanks for bringing that spirit to the show. We really appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, James. Thanks so much. I hope you have a happy New Year, and let's come up with some new resolutions for the next one in soon.
So you want to talk about 2023 resolutions?
No, for 2022. Didn't we just
maybe next week?
Yeah.
Conor, thanks so much and have a good rest of the year, okay?
Thanks, James.
That is bye. Conor Rose, such a sweetheart. You saw that look in his eyes, right? That guy's on the prowl. I think it's my prediction. Conor Rose has a threesome in 2022. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Speaking of someone that loves doubling their pleasure, please welcome tonight's final guest, also a poet in his own right. It is Mr. Andy Assaf. Andy, how's it going, my friend?
Hello, James. Hello, everyone. Connor, I just want to give...
look right into the camera, Andy. Get nice and close.
Connor, if you're listening, if you're out there, I just want to give you props. You are the OG Poet Laureate, and I owe everything to you.
So maybe you guys can collaborate in the new year.
You know what? I think we should. And actually, James, Connor kind of inspired me in the last segment. At the end of the last segment, I did write a little poem.
You wrote a poem? Well, I want to say this, right? I mentioned in Seg 1 with Syd, what if we recap the court case of the woman who got burned by the coffee from McDonald's? It was too hot. So that's an episode in the pipeline. How about this for an episode in the pipeline? What if we do a slam poetry night on the show?
You know, James, you are kind of asking me, like, if I were a boxer, you'd be it's like asking me to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, if I was a skateboarder, you'd be like, let's do a skateboard off with Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I would gladly go toe-to-toe with Conor Rose.
Look, you know, I'm going to say this. From the summer until up until about mid-November, I kept saying we're going to do Weird Week. We're going to do Weird Week, which is essentially a week of alternate programming, as if the show is in an alternate universe. Look, I swear we're going to do it in 2022. Who knows? Maybe Slam Poetry Night might be part of Weird Week, but I want to hear your poem. What's it called, Andy?
I didn't really come up with a title. It was just kind of like, you know.
Ooh, you know what? There's something to be said about untitled.
It's
right?
kind of untitled. It was like, you know, Connor was talking about the new year and the resolutions, and then I heard Connor's old poem, and it like, I was just thinking about this year, you know. Like the last we saw, I was on the show. I was feeling a little under the weather, James.
Yeah, you're feeling blue.
I thought I had COVID. Okay, and then I had a stomach ache, and I missed Christmas. Yeah, James, I'm here to say, he's negative.
He's negative.
And Drunk
Andy,
Christmas is back on, baby.
Oh my God!
I got the beer. I got Captain Morgan. Okay, I got a jolly old English gin. I got, what else do I got here? Oh, look at this. I got some vodka.
Now you're just alarming people now.
James. I got a nice Santa Marguerite white wine Pinot Gris. James.
And now we know why all the SAQ shelves are empty.
James, look at this. This is for portability. Canada Club. You know, you got pull this out just in case. Drunk Christmas is back on, James. And,
well, Christmas is over, Andy.
Yeah, but Drunk Christmas is forever.
Well, how about you? Okay, Drunk Christmas is forever, but I want to hear about this poem. This is untitled poetry by Andy Assaf. Andy, take it away.
Okay, all right. I'm a little nervous because I'm coming in right after Connor, but
don't be nervous.
I'll give it a shot. Untitled. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is just some thoughts I had over the last little end of the year, going into the new year, 2022. Here we go. Andy's tummy hurt, but he's back. Drunk Xmas also is back on. Let's get drunk and smoke some crack. James did some hot streams. Let's get him paid. Another year, here's to another stream. Maybe he gets laid. Syd started streaming. His thoughts so good he could gloat. Maybe he'll do... What did I write here? I wrote this fast. Maybe he'll meet his resolutions and get a new remote. Connor is the OG poet. He inspired me. What did I write here?
Yeah, I feel like drunk Christmas isn't the only thing happening right now. This might be drunk poetry.
Connor is the OG poet. He inspired me to give it a stab. But hats off to Connor. Call me. Let's collab.
All right, that was Untitled by Andy Assaf. Now, Andy, we've been talking about New Year's resolutions, hopes, and dreams. I received a couple letters from fans who have some questions for you in regards to the new year that's quickly approaching.
James, I'm loose. I'm on the Grey Goose. I'm ready to give some advice. Let's go.
Loose and on the Grey Goose. Well, here we go. The first question comes from Colleen Sherwood from Guelph, Ontario. So thank you for watching in Guelph, Ontario.
I'm familiar with Guelph. Toured there before.
Hi, Andy. To begin, I love your work on the At Home Show. Every Wednesday is a treat when you are on my computer screen. Okay. With the end of the year right around the corner, I'm curious to know, what was your biggest win and loss of 2021? Thanks, Colleen.
Okay, so Colleen wants to know what my biggest win
and loss. Yeah.
My biggest loss. Now, James, clarification. Is this just on At Home with James or just in general?
This seems generally speaking.
Okay, well, generally speaking, James, if I could be earnest here, we did get back to live shows. This was
that was great
for everyone. You stopped streaming half the time. You were doing shows. I went back to work, as you know.
Yeah, we did a show together right here in Montreal.
We did do a show together, which, you know what? I was going to say Second City, but fuck that. That show was fun.
Getting sure you want to be saying that on here?
Yeah, fuck that. Fucking fire me. Go ahead. Listen, James.
This is just drunk talk. Andy
Look, I was going to say the Christmas show, I thought we did a really good job, but that show could suck my dick. Okay, let's go. No, James, when we got to perform with, what was the what did we call ourselves, you, me, and Dimitri?
Father and son.
Father and son. It did feel as if I was performing with my own father, you, James McGee. We got to do a show together. It was very fun, some really good scenes.
I agree.
And it felt more than doing shows here, because it's like we used to do shows all the time in Montreal. It felt like back home.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was one of your big wins. That's great. What was your big loss of the year?
Probably my tummy ache last week.
Look, you know what? At least the loss came at the tail end of the year. So that's
I genuinely miss Christmas, I feel like. But you know what? Andy, I feel like everyone missed Christmas.
You and me both. There was a lot of Christmas orphans this year, but let's focus on the positives. Your big win of the year. Let's move on to the next question. This one comes from Scott Beltran from Vaudreuil, Quebec. Hello, Andy. I've been racking my brain all day to come up with the perfect question for you, but I'm afraid I'm going to ask something very run-of-the-mill.
Okay.
What are some of your New Year's resolutions going into 2022? Damn it. Even typing it out makes me realize that I dropped the ball on this question. Why couldn't I have mustered up something more unique? Damn it all to hell. My dad was right. I am a failure. Goodbye forever. Yikes.
What was his name? Scott?
Scott Beltran.
Okay. Well, Scott, if you...
Really, it's a really alarming email.
Yeah, if you're still listening, Scott. I know this is an advice show, but maybe call your dad. You know, that's one of my resolutions is to call my dad more often. I miss my actual dad.
That's a great resolution.
It's tough when you live in a different city, and then COVID just, doesn't let us see our family as much.
Yeah.
Definitely up there.
I think Andy, that's a great resolution. Do you have any other resolutions?
Do I have any other? Well, James, this has been an ongoing battle. You know this. It's to quit smoking.
Sure.
Okay. At the beginning of 2020, I was a big part of the pro-smoking lobby. I came on here advocating for how cool cigarettes were, and then I had quit. Probably a total of like a year over the last 2 years. So like half the time I wasn't smoking, and half the time I was smoking, and now we're back to smoking a bit. So
you're looking to kick the butt again in 2022.
I'm getting rid of it. Let's get it out of there, James. Okay. So I challenge you, James. Whenever you see me smoking, I want you to physically smack it out of my hand.
Well, that seems a little.
No, I want you to physically attack me.
All right, so we've got Andy's resolutions for the new year.
And I challenge you a resolution to start smoking.
Oh, so you want me? So I'm going to smack the cigarette out of your hand and then pick it up off of the filthy ground.
Start smoking it.
Start smoking cigarettes. All right, so everyone's challenged me for a resolution. Connor wants me to ask somebody out. Syd wants me to host a show wearing a eye patch and a pirate voice. You want me to start smoking it.
This is aside, but I really hope Syd, one, grows a mustache, and then you shave it down to the mustache.
Well, there's a lot of talk in the chat about everyone's
stash talk.
Yeah,
There's another segment.
Joe is in the chat talking about how nice your beard is and how nice Connor's is and how good that would fit in with Syd.
Let's get rid of it. Connor, freaking shave the beard. Let's go stashes. Joe, grow the stash. We'll have a 5-way stash talk.
Let's move on to our next question. This one comes from Yolande in Quebec City.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Assaf. That's very formal.
Hello.
Will you be locking lips with someone at midnight on Saturday? If not, I know someone you can kiss. Or rather, something you can kiss. Yolande.
Okay, well, I'm dying to know the real cliffhanger of a question. What do you think?
Yeah,
what do you think Yolande's meaning by something?
Well, I mean, it sounds very suggestive.
What does she mean by something?
Yeah.
Maybe like kiss the ring or.
Yeah, I think it means something a little bit more.
Kiss a calendar. Kiss 2021 goodbye.
Yeah, it could be that. I think it's something a little bit more adult than that.
Okay, so
it sounds like she's offering herself up to be kissed.
Sadly, I won't be in. Was it Vaudreuil?
This was Quebec City.
Quebec City. I won't be anywhere near Quebec City at 2021. In fact, New Year's 2021, James, I think sadly will be a repeat of Christmas 2021, and I'll probably be at home alone because James, we've dodged the COVID twice. Mm-hmm. If I got it within yards of the finish line, of the touchdown line, if I got COVID right at the last second, how shitty would that be?
It would be terrible. It also sounds like on the flip side, since you're spending New Year's alone, you might be a lock for the New Year's Eve at home spectacular.
I don't know yet. Look, James, we never know. I could get a last second invite to like an open house party. I'd go to that.
Or to Quebec City.
Let's go look at the chateaus.
All right. Well, there's your answer.
There's a lot of stuff to kiss in Quebec City.
True. Yeah.
Lots of stone buildings.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's your answer, Yolande. Let's move on to the next question. This one is from Twitter. This is from @DB_improviser.
Oh, okay.
So one of our
return questioner. Right?
Yeah, we get a lot of questions from this person, and we don't know who it's from. @DB_improviser.
Okay, yeah.
Question is, hi, Andy.
Hey,
every year, people around the world set goals for themselves heading into the new year. Whether it's leaving bad habits behind, exercising, or eating healthier, I'm sure you're no different, which, of course, Andy, you mentioned. He goes on to say, the reason I'm asking is that I recently found out that you used to work in the adult entertainment industry. Probably one of my favorite industries, if we are being honest. I'm wondering if you have any aspirations of returning to that line of work in the new year. I know that your main interests involve comedy and making people laugh, but don't discount all of the ways you can help stimulate in other capacities. If you want, I would be happy to help by taking a look at some of your edits. I've got nothing but time on my hands, to say the least. Please email me any compilations that you might have. Thank you. And that one comes in from @DB_improviser. So, Andy, do you have any aspirations of getting back into the adult?
That was because I wasn't sure if that was the question.
Well,
whether it was a suggestion that he could help me get back into the industry.
He shoehorned two questions
finally,
in there.
I send him my favorite compilations?
Wants to know if you. So let's.
Do I have any favorite compilations?
Let's give some context. You did used to work in the adult entertainment industry.
I did. One of my first jobs out of college, I used to work for the mega corp that will remain unnamed on the stream because we're not going to give them buzz marketing, but that owns every porn site in the world.
Yeah. And what was your position at this company?
I was a video editor. And many English speaking comedians, writers, creatives, they end up working at this company because it's one of the jobs you can get in Montreal for an English speaker.
Most notoriously, Dimitri Kires, who was nominated for an AVN award.
Look, should I have been nominated for an AVN award? I did have one producer say I was his favorite editor of all time.
Well, I'm sure that if DB_improviser had his way, you would have run away with the best editor at the AVN awards.
Clearly.
But I guess the question is, Do you have any aspirations of breaking back into that world? And if so, can you send him some compilations?
So, do I have any aspirations to break back in that world? Probably not. However, James, if you remember, we did earlier, I think this year, could have been last year. Remind me which year it was. We did make you an OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, you tried to make me an OnlyFans. I had it shut down. Yeah.
No, it's still live on the servers that I have it on, and it's still pumping in money, right?
Wait, I've seen no truth.
I mean, the photos of you like using your, especially the ones of you using your shower and toilet, where it's kind of like it's very candid. People love those. Making tons of tips.
And this was without my permission, though. I did not consent to this.
Well, James, maybe for the bit, maybe. Anyways, look. Point being, it is very profitable. I could be, let's see. Give me 2 or 3 more years. Let's see how my acting career.
Well, maybe we collaborate on it. Maybe we
collab. So 2022, I collab with Conor on a poem. I collab with you on the OnlyFans. And maybe I tell some of my Arab friends to stop making such juicy hot peppers for Syd, and we'll all be happy.
All right, well let's move on to our final question. This one comes in from Paula Felger.
Okay.
Are you laughing at Paula's name?
No.
You're laughing at poor Paula Felger's name.
Felger? It was Felger?
Felger. Yeah. Paula.
Any location?
Felger. No location.
Yeah, okay.
Question is as follows. Hi, Andy. Every week you help James with his show. Does he appreciate you? I sure hope so. Well, I do appreciate Andy, Miss Felger. Paula goes on to write, I'm wondering if you plan on helping him even more in 2022. So my question is, are you going to help make James a man in the new year? Well, I don't appreciate that question from Paula Felger.
Am I going to help
Yeah, make me a man. I don't even know what that
make is. Make you a man.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's in reference to.
Okay, well, putting aside the fact, look, James, the definition of being a man is, you know, that's couched in a lot of toxic masculine connotations. But, maybe there's some things that I could maybe help you with, James.
Oh, like what?
Like maybe we do finally... We've talked about this on the show. Like maybe we put together some sort of like focus group or mastermind session where we do in fact make you a dating profile.
Oh God. I thought I had really abandoned this whole thing on this show.
And you know what? What is the holidays but have ghosts of your past come and haunt you? Maybe we
that's what's happening right now.
Maybe we with a team, like a crack team that really knows online dating, Raquel Belmonte,
my God.
We bring out the all-stars of online dating. We put our brains together and maybe make you the dating profile that in Paula's terms could perhaps
Paula
Felger's terms perhaps get you to a point where maybe you could be considered more of a man. But again, I take issue with the framing of it.
Because on the show we've often discussed you and me having a night on the town together.
We haven't.
It's never happened. It's never happened. Just you and me.
We go out. We go get a decaf coffee. We hit the bar where all the single women over 40 hang out. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, we end the night at Green Spot, get a bowl of chili. It's going to be great.
For the both of us?
Yeah, we share a bowl of chili.
Well, Andy, that's all the New Year's questions that we received for you tonight. How do you feel going into the new year before we start to wrap this sucker up?
James, the question that on my mind that still remains is should old acquaintances be forgot? Do we never bring them to mind?
Well, those are, again, poetic words. Andy, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight, and I wish you just the best of luck with your stomach and the ailments that are ailing you as you begin to hammer all of that booze.
I want to wish everyone a merry, happy, drunk Christmas, which does technically go until mid to late February 2022.
Oh.
So everyone stay safe, have fun. And James, let's get you that profile up and running.
Yeah, you got to make me a man.
Let's make you a man, James.
Andy, thanks so much for being here and all the help tonight, my friend.
Thanks for having me, James. Bye, everybody.
That is Andy Assaf, and that's our show. And what a show it has been. Nothing but admiration and appreciation from my end to Andy, Conor, and Syd. A murderer's row of guests tonight. Some true at-home all-stars. As I mentioned earlier on, we're going to be back this Friday, 9 p.m. as we say goodbye to 2021, only hours before we ring in the new year in 2022. Who's going to be here? Dave Kaufman, and so much more. Until then, thanks so much for watching. A lot of new faces in the chat, and I love it. I love a fresh-faced chat. It makes me feel more youthful than I have been in quite a long time. And on that note, I say, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.